Right, I'm just going to ask a couple of questions about some teammates and then we'll wrap it. So one question I have is this. We already referenced it a little bit earlier about EliGE, but like this is one of those weird things where I've even told him this because it's funny because his personalities, they couldn't be more different. But I've even told him, like, in a way, you understand you are sort of like the NA simple. And what I mean by that is it's like they're not, it's not that they're just difficult to manage, and you've got to, like I said, they have a very set way of how they want things to work, how they even want people to play and calm, and what their role is and what setup they get. But the problem is, the reason I compare them is if you give them that and they're in their prime, they are really fucking good. Like they can deliver essentially. Like I always say, if you ask for resources, it's like that's a responsibility. Like if you get them and then you shit the bed, like, well, yeah, fuck off. You shouldn't be in the team. You are toxic. But if you can carry, and there was some years when EliGE was fucking cooking right in this team.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, no, of course. I mean, even before I joined them, like he was already like top 20 player in the world. I think like in 2017,
Yeah.
like he was like number 12 or something like that. So he was like, I already knew like he was one of the best NA players. I think like I always said like Twist and EliGE are like the best players, and then like yeah, like Automatic at the time as well in that conversation. And you know, I always wonder, I'm like, why are these guys like struggling so much to like get close to trophies, whereas like us on Optic and like Cloud9 were able to do it. So I always thought like that was strange, and then I didn't really know that until like I pretty much joined the team to kind of understand like the personalities and all that. And I think just like I think, you know, like obviously just like with EliGE, he's definitely like a super talented player. There's a reason he's been like a top 20 player for like 5 years in a row and all that. So I just think like at times, I think maybe EliGE is just weakness and downfall somewhat is just like his mentality at times. I think just like he can just be like a little too hard on himself, I believe, at times, and it might like affect him in some ways and all that. And obviously Liquid has done a lot to help him, you know, in sports psych, even like with our manager Steve, always having like close relationships with him and all that. And but yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, not like trashing him or anything like that, you know, but it's just like, it's just like, it's just his mentality. I think that's maybe just like a big problem with just NA players and all that. It's just a lot of them can mentally be like really hard on themselves to the point where like it's just, you know, not good for yourself, maybe not good for your team and all that. But over the years, he's definitely gotten like better at it for sure. Like compared to when I first joined the team, I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on with EliGE, with Twist and Nitro. I don't know, like it's like it seems to just be like a lot of rifts and all that in the air, and so. But it's definitely something he's gotten better at 100%. But I think that's probably like the one thing where people that they couldn't see why is this hindering EliGE's performances, or like why is this hindering like the team's performances or something like that. Like I think maybe that could be like maybe a factor in all that. But you know, at the end of the day, I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he's grown a lot. He's shown a lot of improvements and all that. So you know, so. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I guess, like EliGE for me.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.